Hey, what's going on YouTube? Just another day in paradise here, but wanted to show y'all what I'm working on. I got asked to do a project for a charity event here in Middle Georgia. It's a firefighter stair climb, and I thought, well, since I'm a firefighter and it's a firefighter stair climb, let's do something fire related. So let me show you what you got. So this is it. This is a older fire extinguisher. It's copper and brass. It is in rough shape. But we are going to clean this up. And we are going to turn it into a really nice charity auction prize. So stick with me. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so we're making a little bit of progress. This is the cap off of it. As you can see, the brass is cleaning up okay. The copper's gotten most of the tarnish off of it. Still a little bit down in here we got to do, and the underside of the cap is still pretty cruddy. What we're doing is a little bit of a science experiment. We've got a half a cup of all-purpose flour, a half a cup of salt, and enough vinegar to make it this thick paste. And then we coat the piece real heavily with it and let it sit for a little while. And then it'll start kind of turning green on us. And then we take it to the sink with a soft cloth and some warm water and rinse it off and wipe it off. Now over here, let me see if I can, as you can see, there's pretty good difference in the tank. It's cleaning up pretty well. Right now it's sitting in a vinegar and salt bath, and we're going to try to keep cleaning it up and putting the stuff on it to get it cleaned up. And we'll just keep working at it until we get all the crud off of it, or at least the majority of it, so that we can polish it up. So this is the first vinegar bath. Did pretty good. We've still got a little bit of oxidation down here and on the brass plaque here, but overall I think it's coming out good. So I think it's coming out real good. So we'll do a good bit of polishing on it, then move on to the next step. Okay, so I've been polishing and cleaning this thing for a little while, and I'm not real happy with the finish. As you can see, it's kind of dull. It cleaned up some, but it's dull, and I'm not real happy with that. I think we've gone as far as we can with the vinegar and salt solutions. So I've tried another product, and not endorsed by them, but it's what I decided to give a try. This is Wright's Copper Cream, and so I've used a little bit of it on the top of the dome right here, and as you can see, it's got a little more sheen to it, or shine, and it's cleaned off the oxidation a little better. So I think we're going to go this route and do the rest of the extinguisher. Couple of differences in it. With the salt and vinegar solution, I could do that in my house. I didn't have a problem with it. This, one of the first things it says is to wear gloves, so I've got some latex gloves, but the way you do this, you run the product or the piece under some warm water so the metal gets some temperature to it, gets a little above room temperature, and then you take a soft rag, you wipe this on and polish it for a little while, and then you run it under warm water again to rinse off the product, and then you can buff the piece. So as big as this is, I can't do this, of course, in my sink at home, so I'm here at the shop. We're going to put it in the sink, the shop sink here, which is a deeper sink, and see if I can get it to wash this down so that I can get it done a little easier. So let me go put it in the sink and try to heat it up a little, and then we'll come back and we'll try to polish it out and see how it goes from there. Alright, so we've got it soaked in warm water, and this comes with a little sponge in the kit. So now we're going to start rubbing it on. And as you can see, it's pretty quickly taking a lot of that oxidation out. So I really like that. It doesn't have a strong odor to it. It doesn't, the vinegar and the salt, as much as I was hoping it wouldn't have a strong odor, it did. And so my wife wasn't real happy with that. But this seems to be working a lot quicker and getting a better finish for what I wanted. So I think we're going to try to continue with this. Now, you don't want to leave this on too terribly long, because it will give you a dull finish. So we're going to rinse it off and keep going. Oh yeah. Alright. And what I'll probably do is I'll keep working on this. I'll put it on a time lapse so that you can see what I'm doing, but you don't have to hear me talk the whole time, and it'll get done a little quicker. Okay, so quite a bit of difference in the appearance of what it looked like before. You can actually see the brass a little better. The copper's, it's still got a bit of a dull finish. I'm going to buff it out. I may try to scrub it one or two more times off camera and see if I can get a little more of this tarnish out. But I'm very, very happy with the way that's starting to look. So, stick around. Alright, so there you go. I think it came out pretty good. Still got a little bit of polishing to do to try to bring out the shine and buff it. But I'm really excited about this. So the next step will be drilling the back for a plug for the electrical cord to go through, and we'll drill the cap for the wiring to go through, and then we'll get it ready to wire up for a lamp. Okay. Sorry, y'all. In true fashion, I forgot to cut the camera back on. So, polish it up a little more. I'm going to continue to polish it. I've got about another 2 weeks until the actual auction. Maybe 3, something like that. So I'm going to keep polishing it, try to get it a higher shine. But let me show you what I've done. So, in the bottom, I want this to be the visible part of the lamp. So in the back of the lamp, let's see if you can see it. There you go. I drilled and put a plug in, or a bung, that the wiring will go through. This will take care of protecting the wire from any sharp edges where I drilled and tapped it. So it'll protect the wiring. It's a nice brass fitting, so it goes with the finish of the part, or the extinguisher. So it'll kind of blend in and make it look like it was meant to be there. Now, on the cap, I drilled a hole through the center of the cap and threaded it for this 1/2 inch tubing. So I've threaded the tubing through. I've got a lock nut, I don't know if you can see it right there, to keep it from unscrewing. And then on the top, I've got a nut right here. That nut will hold the escutcheon plate that'll go on top of it to keep it from dropping down inside of it. This extinguisher was a foam type extinguisher, and so instead of just having a flat cap like a water extinguisher had, it had this funnel on the top of it, and this escutcheon plate was here to keep debris and stuff out of the top of it. As you can see, there's actually vent holes in it. Those are from the factory. So even though I'm a firefighter, I'm not 100% sure how this extinguisher worked, because it's a little before my time period. So even though I'm not sure how it worked, I'm going to make something beautiful out of it and make it a lasting memory for somebody. And that's what I want to do. So let me get this screwed on, and then we will look at running wiring. I'll bring you back for that. Okay, so as you can see, like I said, I've run the stem all the way through it. I've got the escutcheon plate on it. This bracket holds a lampshade and then the keeper for it. And as you can see, I've got a little bit of thread sticking up. That's for this, this piece to go on. It'll screw on, I hope. There we go. It'll screw on like that. It's got a keeper screw right here that'll hold it in place, and then we can run the wiring through it. So, now, let me go on and say this right now. I am not a professional electrician. Don't do what I do. If you're not sure how to wire something up, please, please, please call a professional. I don't want anybody damaging their property or getting injured in any way, shape, or form. Alright, so the kit I bought came with the plug-in, so we're going to run that through, there we go, through the extinguisher, turn it upside down and let gravity help us a little, hopefully. Oh, I feel it. There we go. Alright. So now, we'll pull enough out that I've got some slack to work with. We'll slide this up through the center of the stem and work it. Whoop. Let me see if I can make these run a little truer. There we go. Slide that up through that light. Hey, and there we go. All right. So now we'll screw the top of the extinguisher on. Okay, so we've got our wire through, we've got our bottom plate in. Now it's time to connect the wires. And so what I want to do, I want to look at this wiring. There's one that has a ribbed section on it, and that will be this one here, and it connects to the silver screw. On this end piece, there's a silver screw and a brass screw. So the ribbed wire goes on the silver screw, the other wire will go on the brass screw. So that's this wire that goes to the silver. Being about half blind doesn't help either. Alright, and we're going to bend this over just a little. That way it can hook on the screw and we can get a good, secure, snug fit. When I do things like this, outlets, switches, whatever, I always hook the hook on the, what would be the counterclockwise side, so that when I tighten it, it actually pulls the wire into in the same direction as the tension, and it just seems to snug it up a little better. That's the way I do it. I learned that from my dad and from some friends and family that were electricians, so that's just how I've always done it, and it seems to work. I have very few wires that come loose on things when I do it that way. So, alright, the other wire will go to this brass fitting, or brass screw. We'll snug those up. There we go. Alright, we're going to pull a little bit of our slack back. And now, this metal piece is, of course, metal, which conducts electricity. You've got the screws right here that conduct electricity. And you've got this outer shell that conducts that's metal and would conduct electricity. But inside you've got an insulated cylinder inside it. So that'll keep the wires from touching the outside of the shell and cause an electrocution issue or a short in the wiring. Alright, and let's see, I want to make sure that the little switch for turning the light on is facing the front. That way somebody can get to it easily. And then this just presses down and locks in place. So now that part's done. I'll put the hoop on. That'll hold the lampshade. That's on. There we go. And the final part. So, firefighter, I figured red would be a good color. So we'll put that on. There we go. So, I'm not sure about the lampshade. It's a little small. I may go find something a little bigger. I'll just have to see. So, I told you this was for a charity event. The event is happening May 14th in Warner Robins, Georgia. It's the Central Georgia Firefighters Stair Climb on Saturday and the Firefighter Combat Challenge on Sunday. I'm going to try to video both events and put a link in the description of this video if possible. I'm still trying to figure all that out. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know computers greatly, so you'll have to forgive me as I bobble through this and try to figure it out. But I started these stair climbs several years ago in Atlanta as a memorial for the firefighters who died in 9/11. 343 firefighters were killed trying to rescue people out of the Twin Towers in New York before they fell. And so every year I try to get involved with a stair climb combat challenge, something that honors both the men who died in New York doing their duty and the firefighters worldwide who every year get injured, hurt, have family problems, things like that. Military, police officers, EMS or medical personnel, and firefighters have some of the most strenuous jobs in the world. They face a lot of issues financially, physically, and mentally. And firefighters struggle year-round with the things that they see and they do in their job. Please remember, be kind. Remember these guys are trying to help you. If you haven't thanked a police officer, a medic, a soldier, a firefighter, please thank them for their duty. You can't imagine how many hours they spend away from their families, how many holidays they have to give up to be on duty at work, or if you're a volunteer firefighter, how many times you've sat down at the dinner table to be with your kids and your family just to have the tones go off and get up and go put your life on the line for somebody else. No greater love hath any man but to lay down his life for his brother. Thank you for the opportunity to show you this project. I hope you're having a wonderful day in paradise. I know I am. God bless you, and we'll see you soon. Okay, so I made a change. I think once the light got put in, I think this shade looks much better on it. So I think that'll work out.